Baby, here I go, start the show. Beat on my heart, now about to explode. I'm about to explode. Feel good, what a feeling, what
the path you are on was designed for you and you alone.
Everything about you is majestic and a force to be reckoned with.
Girl, you make me so proud, and I love you. Remember, you are 100%
that queen.
Oh, yes.
And you don't have to get your groove back because guess what? You never lost it.
It's going down, can't slow down. All of the universe watching me now. Yeah. Watching me now. It's in the air, everywhere. Lightning can strike anytime, anywhere. Anytime, anywhere. What I'm feeling come over me. I don't believe what it's happening to me.
And Black excellence really means to me when it comes to especially women overcoming despite our oppositions, just rising above what is said that we cannot do and we cannot accomplish. Listen, girl, you are a boss, and therefore you were created to do boss things. I don't care how big your dream is. There is no dream that is too big that God cannot help you reach. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this.
Blowing up, you can't stop it. It's going down, can't slow down. All of the universe watching me now. Yeah. Watching me now. It's in the air, everywhere. Lightning can strike anytime, anywhere. Anytime, anywhere. What I'm feeling come over me. I don't believe what it's happening to me. Yeah, it feels summertime. Pour that magic all over me.
Spy you what it looks like. You will win, win. You will win, oh win.
It's amazing. I can do anything. And do it well. Any good thing, I can do it. That's why I'm who I am. Yes, because God loves me and I'm amazed at it. I'm grateful for it.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
So I just want to encourage you, Nakita, keep on doing what you're doing. And remember, you brought the sunshine in my life. Throughout the life, saved my life. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hey, Queen.
Hey, Queen.
Hey, Queen Sister.
Girl, you've done it again.
Queen, it's time to play your royal position. This is your girl, Minister Nakita Davis, the proud CEO and founder of Jesus Coffee and Prayer Christian Publishing House, the #1 Christian publishing house in the land. And boy, oh boy, do I have a treat for you on this amazing Friday, Black Friday. Okay, that's what we're gonna call it, because my queens are black, bold, and beautiful. They are also girl bosses that are kicking hiney and taking names for the kingdom. So I'm so excited and delighted to have them. I'm talking about none other than Dr. Cheryl Wood in the house. She's going to come on in a minute, but amazing, phenomenal leader. She develops speakers like nobody's business. She's produced 13 best-selling books. She's been a part of them. She's a TEDx speaker, honey. You name the corporation, she done came and stepped on their stage. From NASA, sips NASA tea. Okay. All right. FBI, Capital One, you name it. This queen has been blessed to grace their stage because she is the consummate professional, the consummate queen who will help level up any leader in this season. So I'm honored to have her. We also have my queen, Kearn Cherry, in the building. She is one of the 4 magnificent directors for the Success Women's Conference, one of the largest women conferences in the nation. Essence has named them that twice. So she's definitely the go-to. We call her butts and seats, honey, because she know how to get the people in the building, baby. So you want to get connected with her. And then we've got my queen, Cynthia. Oh, I just met Cynthia just a few months ago, but when I tell you she has a fire in the pit of her belly that won't quit, I'm telling you, you need to get connected. She does marketing. She helps with the websites. I mean, you name it. She's backed up by the Better Business Bureau. So she's legit, okay? So you just want to get connected. All of these women are wives, they're mothers, and most importantly, they're my sister's keeper. So you definitely know that you are in good hands, and it doesn't even have to be AllState. So I'm going to bring them on in right now. Queens, come on in the room.
Hey,
boom.
How are you?
Hello, beautiful, beautiful queen. Yes. Thank you so much for being here at the Black Bold and Beautiful Girlboss Tour, specifically as one of some of our 2021 Women of Black Excellence honorees, because you serve proudly, not only just for women, but for the Black woman. You understand what I'm saying? And we need to see more representation like you, that you can lead your tribe, you can lead your kingdom, and you can be all that God has called you to be. And you all are shining examples. So I'm so glad that I could just sneak you away so I can have you for just a little bit, not share you with the people, but just for a little bit. Okay. All right. So as we deep dive, because I know you guys are wildly busy and I can't keep you long, but I just want you to take 60 seconds and just kind of add a little bit of extra TLC to who you are and what you do and kind of how you serve women a little bit more. So I'll start with you, Dr. Cheryl. We'll come on down to Kearn, and then we'll round it up with Cynthia. So Dr. Cheryl, take it away.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I am a proud Black woman, baby. First of all, I am a Black mama. I'm a Black wife. I am a Black businesswoman who has grown this amazing speaking and coaching empire. All praise to God and glory to God, because I could not be here without him. My mission in the world is to help more women globally, Black women especially, to be able to unleash the power of their voice. Why? Because as Black women, we have something to say. And it has been too long that we have been playing in the shadows and stepping in the background. And we need to come to the forefront of the room and share our knowledge, our experiences, our expertise, and our story. Why? Because your story and your life is about you, but it ain't for you.
Come on, Queen. Yes, I love when you say that. So fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. You are just amazing. So anytime I have anything, I'm like, well, Dr. Cheryl, what you doing? Oh, you're not available that day? Okay, we just gonna move the conference then. No, that's the whole conference just shift to the day they available. Honey, come on, hashtag goals. Kearn, come on, Queen. Y'all know I'm crazy. Kearn, tell me a little bit more about you and what you do with your fabulousness.
Well, so one of the things I'm doing this year, and I've kind of said this a lot last year, my goal is to help people become more visible. Because, you know, when you increase your visibility, you increase your profitability, right? So a few of the things that I'm doing this year is I have my Level Up conference that's coming out in April. And then I have Power Up Summit that will be towards the end of June, July. And so those conferences are just a few. And of course, our Success will be back in September in the fall. But those are a few extra that I'm taking on in order to offer people opportunity to get on the stage, be seen. I'm calling it the year of the speaker, and I want to make sure that people get on stages. So if I'm not sending them to somebody else's conference like yours, Nakita, then I'm going to make sure that I create the opportunity as well. And then I have 2 book anthologies that I have out right now. We got Make It Happen. And then I also have Trailblazers Who Lead. And that's so you can also share your voice, which is another platform to help you with visibility. And I'm all about creating opportunity for you to be seen. So thank you for having me on here. And just I'm hoping that what we share today enlighten somebody and encourage them to step up.
Come on, Queen. Yes, I love it. And we're definitely going to take some time to talk about that visibility on all levels here, especially as African-American queens, what that visibility looks like so you can level up, y'all. We're not doing the breadcrumbs in 2021. Yeah. Breadcrumbs are gone, right? It's right. Good. I mean, I appreciate you, Lord, and thank you for the manna and all of that, but the manna and the breadcrumbs is OV. That means over, queen. We're talking about getting some real coins so you can level up in your speaker, author, girl boss business and just be the light of the world, which is who God has called you to be. Anything else is uncivilized. Okay. All right, Cynthia, queen, tell us a little bit more about you, what you do and how you serve women in this season.
Hey, thank you so much for having me tonight. I'm honored to be here with you all. Like, y'all are so amazing. So I'm really, really honored to be here. I'm a professional web designer. I help people with branding and strategy and marketing. And it doesn't matter how small the business is. It doesn't matter if you just began. I have a way of crafting something that looks absolutely beautiful. It'll have you being able to be competitive within your industry. So you can keep up with your competitors. You can be in the market of other people and still have that credibility that you need online. So in this season, I've been really focusing on helping our clients to kind of narrow down their vision. Oftentimes I get people that have so many different ideas and they don't know how to hone it in. They don't know how to put it on paper or put it into action. So I put together action plans with my web design clients, with our clients that want to do marketing, and we kind of hold that down and stick to that and execute. So this year, my desire is to see more girl bosses, see more women in business, especially Black women in business, be successful with whatever it is their goal is pertaining to marketing, pertaining to web design, whatever it is. I want to see them execute and I want to see them win. So I'm all about strategy this year. It's all about strategic things. You did a conference that was called Success Leaves Clues. And ever since I saw that, I've been telling all of the people I've talked to, success, it can be patterned. It's already been done. It has clues. Use the breadcrumbs, follow the pattern of success and do it. You can duplicate success within your own business. You can be unique in it, but it's already been laid out. You don't have to restart all the way over. Follow those that are already successful. And so that's what I've been focusing on, is helping people to be successful by following those same clues.
Come on, queen. I love that. Shout out Success Leaves Clues, honey. Yes, we did that thing. It was so amazing. We'll probably do it again later in the year. But you're so right. And this is a part of that. This is a continuation because you all are wildly successful. I mean, we can go over spreadsheets and PayPal accounts, but the bottom line is my queens are eating and they're eating good. And they want you to do the same. They want you to walk in your authority, in your God-given assignment, and they just want you to glow up and blow up. I mean, I think that's fair that nobody wakes up and says, today, I want to be, I don't want to be successful today. Who does that? Nobody does. You want to wake up and win, and you want to win the right way. And so these women definitely can get you in the game and help you do that. You mentioned something, so we're going to just jump right in. Is that okay? Can we just jump right in? Can we just like not even play no games? They want to know. So get the people what they want. So let's talk about that. I was just reading an article in Forbes, and and I'm sure you ladies have heard it as well, where it was talking about Black women. We're one of the fastest growing in business, like never before. To our counterparts, whether it be Caucasian or just other ethnicities, we're growing and scaling and starting new businesses like never before, and that's amazing. And we're also increasing in education levels as well, and that's amazing. So my question, keeping it 100 flat out, right? In the words of my brother Willie Moe Jr., shout out, love that show. But in those words, why are we still broke? If we are educated like never before, achieving more PhDs, masters and bachelors, and we're going on and the first to go to college and all of that, okay, great, check mark. We're also starting businesses and like never before, okay, check mark. But when we go to the bank account, it's a check minus. Why is that? And what do we need to do, queens? What do we need to do? I'm gonna start with Dr. Cheryl, we'll go to Kearn, and we'll come back to Cynthia.
I think a part of it is that we haven't really been taught to negotiate powerfully on behalf of ourselves. I think we've been taught that we have to either serve or sell, that we don't get the right or have the right to do both. And I think that is a process that many of us have had to go through. Even for myself in my journey as a businesswoman, I didn't know that I could make the money I'm making now. I had to be around other people who were giving themselves permission to really increase their profit margins, to cross 6 figures, to cross 7 figures, to even know, okay, wow, I need to be playing big. So I think a piece of it is what we're taught in terms of our expectations and what we can have, and then giving ourselves permission to go for that and realize that we have what it takes to close the deal, to seal the contract, to be the person who's paid the 6 figures to come and speak on stage, or the 5 figures, or whatever it might be. And so we need to put ourselves in those circles with other women, Black women, who are already doing that. Because what that does is, if you can, there's kind of this quote, if you can see it, you can believe it. So it's very hard for us oftentimes to believe that something is possible, especially in the entrepreneurial space. If you ain't never done it, your mama ain't done it, your best friends ain't doing it, they're content with where they are. So we've got to be around people who are setting the example and modeling what it looks like to not only serve well, but also to have their bank account to match their high level of service in the world. So I would say just a combination of learning tactics, negotiation skills, strategies, asking for what you want, speaking up and knowing your value, and getting around other Black women who are already there. They're already crushing the game, so that builds your confidence and belief that if she can do it, so can I.
So good. I love that. And I just want to just super quick and put a pin on that. And I am a living, I will say for me, and these women are too, but I can just speak for myself. I'm a living witness to that. Since being around you amazing women, just from what, 3 months ago, or I would say October, whenever you had SpeakerCon. So from SpeakerCon, was that October, November-ish, somewhere in there. From there to now, going from, I was making 5 figures, I had hit my first 10,000 to January, hitting over 30,000, right? And a part of that is, of course, putting in the work and the consistency and all of that. And these women make tons of gazillion dollars. It's not about comparison, but it's being in the room. That's what I took from that. Being in the room with other thought leaders who challenge you just by default to level up. Like, girl, you know what? I'm over here playing. Y'all owe me some money. Who gonna pay? And knowing you're worth it. So I love that, Queen. That is so, so good. And you are definitely a shining example of that. Kearn, what's your thoughts on that? Why are we educated? Why are we bossing up and broke? I don't like that.
Well, let's just get the elephant out the room. We don't have access to the resources and the money that other people have. And so there's, as Cheryl was saying, that, we also need to come together. And so that is an important factor that you see in many cultures here in just our country alone. They come together even more. So we will have to do a stronger job of making sure that we're collaborating together so that we can pull each other up. So that's really essential, that you don't just get and be satisfied with your success and not be willing to look behind and make sure somebody else is coming, and not just one person, several people are benefiting what you've already gotten the knowledge of. You want to make sure you share those resources. The other thing is tap into your gifts too. So, because sometimes we're working and we're doing things that ain't even what we call to do. So you're not making as much as you could because you're not walking in your calling. So I always tell people, make sure to do that. And don't just get locked down to one income. So that's the other big thing that I see in just in general with people. You got a job. Okay, well, that's fine. You got a job. But I would highly suggest that you find a way to create an extra stream of income. The rule of thumb is 7 stream of incomes, right? So you definitely want to start making sure that you have other opportunities. I'm from Mississippi and I'm in Mississippi. And so one of the things I look at the stats from years ago, Black people, 60% of this state, 60% were Black owned businesses doing well. I know some that come from families that had very successful business, not just one. They had the hotels, everything, anything you could think of, they were doing. So we know it's been done. We know all the history. We just got to get back to that. And don't be afraid to collaborate with your other sisters. Black women, we got to just make sure that I'm telling you, reach out, touch some of these group of women who are looking and helping, and don't be afraid to share. Some people are worried about, well, if I share this information, she gonna get hers before me. Look, honey, what God got for you, you don't have to worry about nobody else getting what's meant for you, because it's meant for you. So we just have to change. Some of us, not all of us, some of us are real good at pulling each other in, but more of us need to get in the mindset of working and bringing each other together and creating these opportunities for us to grow, and not just grow, but make money, right? So it ain't enough just to have a great education, right? You got to do more than that. So you might be working on a college campus or whatever. You may be a professor, but you also need to do something else with that gift and skill so that you have your own stream of income. God wants you dependent on him anyway, not man, not the mama, right? We want to multiply that stuff. We want more. Ain't nothing wrong with wanting more, right?
So good, Queen. I love that. And yes, in that, so of course I gave the article at a high level, but it did bring out that elephant in the room that, of course, the access level to the funding and to some of the other structures that our counterparts have had access to, we don't have access to, or if we have access to, we don't know how to maneuver. So somebody has to bust the glass ceiling. Somebody has to get in the room so they can figure out what's what, who's who, and how we can capitalize and make it a benefit, not just for us, but for other people who look like us as well. And please, if you happen to be watching this and you're not African-American, guess what? We still love you, boo. You one of our sisters too in Christ. But we want to be real granular with this thing. I want to be very strategic. We are talking to the heart of the African-American woman, which many times can be marginalized and put on the back burner. And this is the year where we say, no ma'am, boo-boo kitty. We are going to level up, and we're going to do this thing together, and we're going to do it the right way, and God is going to get the glory, and that's the plan. So I love that, Kearn. Cynthia, Queen, what do we do? What do we do? What is a woman who says, man, I'm this business, that business, I'm doing this, that, but I'm still like not making no money? What does she do? Why is that happening? And what can she do to change that trajectory?
Well, there's multiple levels to that. I think Dr. Cheryl touched on it a little bit. You can still negotiate your terms, but also Ms. Kearn was saying the resources. And as a Black woman in business, and I put this in my couple magazine articles that I was writing this week for publishing, is as a Black woman in business, I struggled in the beginning because I couldn't get funding. Like I couldn't get capital. I didn't have anybody to kind of show me the ropes and be like, this is what you do, this is what you don't do, this is what you can use. Talk about personal credit. Like I didn't have anybody initially to educate me on, yeah, you're talented. You can do an amazing job on a website, but there's so much more, the understructure of the business. And I think oftentimes as Black women, we may jump out with an idea. Okay, great. Did we put it into paper? Did we write some of the stuff down? Did we get good counsel? Did we ask a couple of people that we could trust? I literally got a phone call today from one of my clients. She was like, hey, Miss Cynthia, she was just talking about how excited she was about her website and everything that's going on in her life. But she said to me, I'm so afraid to tell anybody about it because I just cannot believe how many people are against me being successful. Mm-hmm. That is serious. And that is the type of conversations I have with clients all the time that will come and confide in me and be like, you know what? I'm so excited about what's getting ready to happen. I'm so excited about what God is doing, but I want to reach out for help, but I don't know who to ask because I'm so afraid they'll try to pull me down in my process. That is where I end up meeting a lot of Black women in developing their business. So they don't have access to the resources. They don't know who to ask. They feel like everybody's out to get them, or they're presented with an opportunity to be able to scale their business, grow their business. They may not have the money, or if they have the money, they don't see the value in it. They don't see the value on being on platforms like this. They don't see the value of investing in digital ads. They don't see the value in developing business relationships and networking. Or as Dr. Cheryl put it on Girl on Fire, I don't need a handout, I need a hand up, right? She took the time to spend time with women that were where she wanted to be, and she was willing to serve. And when her time came for her to be the one to be the keynote speaker, like that opportunity was presented to her because she took the time to serve. She also connected herself, right? So there are so many different avenues. I think as Black women, sometimes we just are either too timid or we're too intimidated to step out there. And we just cannot be that way. And as a business owner, I noticed that really early on. So one of the things that I started to do was connect with resources like that. So for our clients internally, I'll tell them, hey, here's the Black-owned, female-owned business that helps people get their funding. Here's another organization that I work with that has access to these grants. Like, it's just, I want to see us succeed. But I think that deep down inside, if we do not have any structure, we do not have a plan, we don't have access to resources, and we're not willing to ask for help, it's going to continue to be like that. Another thing I noticed too is We undercharge sometimes. Why don't you go after what you're worth? Okay. My first website was like $400 6 years ago. I was like, oh, I was living in the projects. I had a fast food job, and baby, that was bank. That was bank. Okay. Today, 4K is what it is. I don't have a problem asking for a $4,000 package. This is what the value is, because you're going to make your money back 10 times over. Don't scare me no more. And for the right clients, we don't scare them either, because they see the value in the work. We've got to stop feeling like if we're the cheapest, that makes us the best. No, there's somebody that will pay 2 or 3, 4 times over and get the same thing. Come on. Stop undervaluing yourself. You know your skill level. You know your expertise. You know what you can bring. Do you have the numbers? Do you have the resources that you can show the success of what you've done for other people? And even if you don't, you still know your self-worth. Stop shortchanging yourself. Stop undercutting yourself. You're going to be hungry in the end. It's not service. It's not serving you any purpose to be hungry for the sake of saying I got a client. I'm not going to let my son be hungry for trying to say I have a client.
Come on, Queen. And I want you to understand, if you're listening, she did say hungry, and that is HONGR.
I'm in the South.
I'm messing around, but I just want to say, but guess what? We are real Black women, and guess what? Around my parts, we do say hungry, and it is with an O. And that's the reality check that, you know what, we have to level up that mindset. So where does that mistrust come from, Dr. Cheryl? Why have we, and when I say we, please let me predicate that this ain't everybody. I'm not putting everybody in a bucket, okay? But I'm just talking about from a macro level of us elevating. Why do we have such a level of mistrust, or have appeared to have such a level of mistrust for one another? We're both trying to do the same things. Why don't we trust each other so that we can grow together and cash out?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's because there have been such limited resources for Black women. It's almost like Black women in Hollywood. It's like, oh, it's only a few spots. And when you talk about climbing and growing, it doesn't seem like there are a lot of spots, especially for Black women. Most times it's given to our counterparts, either our male counterparts, so white males, or white women. When you look at the percentage of Black women who reach 7 figures, you're talking about less than 0.05%. Like, so when you feel like you're the person who's in that spot, it's almost like we've been taught to be afraid to extend the opportunity to other people to join us. We're afraid to share what we know. We're afraid to tell them, here are the resources that can help you to get here too. Because like Kearn was saying earlier, it's like we feel like they're going to take our spot. Oh, if I tell too many people, there is this conference I go to. And I won't call the conference name, but it's a very elite, if you will, conference, amazing conference with phenomenal Black women. And I will never forget when I finally got invited to this conference, I couldn't believe how many people I knew that were there at the conference that never told me about it. And they were Black women who knew what I did, who knew what my desires of my heart were, and who could easily have simply opened the door for me to come into this space and enjoy this buffet where I had access to people who could hire me for what I do. If you know that I speak well, if you know that I add value, why would you be afraid of that instead of helping me to leverage that so that I can also get my piece of the pie? That comes from scarcity. That's a scarcity mindset, to believe that, oh, there's only enough for me, only I can get it. Boo-boo, there's 7.6 billion people in the world. I promise you, you can get yours, I can get mine, Kearn can get hers, Cynthia can get hers, Nakita can get hers, and every person who's watching this, you can get yours, and you can eat real good. So for some reason, we are under this false perception that if I open the door for another sister, she's gonna take what's mine. If I share what I know, she's gonna get there quicker than me. And we've just got to start abandoning that scarcity mindset and create an abundance mindset that I can have good, I can eat good, you can eat good, I can extend that, I can pass the torch to other women who are around me, because like Kearn said earlier, other races do it all the time. We simply have not been taught to do that. That yes, there might only be a few right now, but there will be more if you open up the door. That's why I love when Black women hire me for opportunities that otherwise I know I wouldn't probably get in the door, because there's not a woman there who would bring me in. So whenever a Black woman says, Cheryl, look, I'm going to get you in to this opportunity. You think other races don't do that all the time? So I celebrate those women who are in those decision-making roles, whether it's for a conference, whether it's for a corporation, whether it's for a governmental agency, and they know what my gifts are. And this the other thing, if I can throw this in real quick, I know you said keep these short, right? Keep these brief, but let me throw this in. As Black women, we also got to make sure our stuff is on point. So don't expect the opportunities if your stuff is messy. You're not even a legal entity. You don't have an S Corp, a C Corp, or an LLC. You don't have a business bank account. You don't have a DUNS number. You don't have none of your assets in place that will be reflective of the value that you bring into the marketplace. So we got to, number one, make sure our stuff is on point. Our assets look the way we want to be viewed when we're out there in the marketplace. Because even though the Black woman might be the decision maker who is presenting you, she might not have the final say. She might simply have the power to present you for the opportunity. So you got to look good to the other people, the other races and genders who are in that room when that Black woman presents you. So it really is twofold. We have a part to do with it, and the women who are in those decision-making roles who can extend the invitation, they also have to step up to the plate.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I had a call with another queen and we were, talking about this as well. So, get your house in order, mama. Get your house in order because, we, as human beings, we want to blame everybody else. Let's just call it just innately, it's your fault. Well, if Dr. Cheryl would have did what? Stop it. Okay, let me tell you something. My mother has been gone to glory almost 13 years. And I remember this. And I remember telling one of my bosses this when I was in corporate America. But my mom used to say this and it sticks in my head and I say it ever so often. But baby, one monkey don't stop no show. That's what my mother would say. One monkey don't stop no show. Not calling Black people monkeys or any of that. I'm just telling you, I'm from the South as well. So this is just a colloquialism that we would use, the jargon. And I remember telling my boss that at one point, and she was Caucasian. And, we had one of those crazy relationships. Like maybe she didn't really rock with me, but I was so bad in the business, meaning good. Okay. That she had no choice but to respect me and to work with me and whatever it was. I remember being in the copy room and I said, well, honey, one monkey don't stop no show. And she died laughing. She was like, oh, Nakita, and I was just like, At the time, she didn't know she was the monkey. But it was all good. It was all good. God bless her. I pray that she's doing well, whomever she is. It doesn't matter. But I say all that to say, get your house in order. Make sure that you are good to go and that you are serving at your highest capacity and you got the fundamental pieces in place so somebody can help you. Like ain't nobody helping you and then they look messy too because we are grouped by association. If you come in and your stuff is messy and it's crazy and people saying you're scamming them on this and that, I mean, why would I can't do that. I'm building a legacy. I need you to be too legit to quit. MC Hammer time, okay? So thank you, Queen Kearn. So talk to us a little bit about that trust, right? How have you fostered that trust? What are some of the things you do to foster that trust? Because you do have the Success Women's Conference. You got all your conferences and anthologies that you host. How do you gain that trust so quickly with other women who look like you? So much so, because let's just keep it 100. Let me say this. Real trust, if they really trust you, they'll write that check. Okay, so I'm out of this, they like and they comment and they share. That's cute, but will they write the check? Are they willing to break bread with you, right? So how do you foster that, Kearn, in your workplace and in all that you do?
Well, first off, again, and I wanted to go back and say this before we move on. Cynthia, tell your client that, tell her to tell her client, thank you, because they have just revealed who they are and cut them off, right? You want to cut off those naysayers and those people that pull you down and stuff. And then I wanted to go back to what Cheryl is saying about, the scarcity mindset. When you go in a room and you try to be a part of something and your people that are supposed to have your back, or at least they know about you, and they don't have the guts or to include you, they got to be cut off too, right? It's the mindset that I'm shifting. I'm shifting that. I'm a giver. Everybody knows that I am a natural giver. So you want to know why people build trust in me? Because I give. I give them my time. I give them my money. I support people. I'm not going to just turn you off because I don't think you're good enough or that you're not there yet or something like that. The way for a person to come up as far as speaking, you got to give them opportunity, right? You got to give them opportunity. We don't get to choose everybody that applies when they apply for success, you know, but when we're picky, we're bringing in heavy hitters like Cheryl all the time because she delivers, right? She's on point. And like she said, she always ready, right? She always on point. She always ready. But then there are these other people who are trying to get in too. And you have to be willing to help and bring them on. And if they're willing to support you, you should be supporting them. I always say trust is developing a two-way street. And a lot of times we get in these relationships with people, especially as you're growing your business, and you'll find out that you might be the only one that's giving. And to me, that represents trust, right? So when you're giving to people, they will slowly learn that you're a person that can be trusted, you know, that they can come to you when they need something, you know, be supportive, you know, connect them to other people. Give first. If you give first, people will see you as somebody I can trust, that I can call on, who will help me when I reach out my hand. If I'm in a room with a bunch of people and I say, you know what, Nakita would be good here. I'm gonna have to drop her a DM and tell her she need to be at this thing. So the next time you're gonna get a text message. When that PP money came out, all my people were, I'm like, look, let me send them an email right now. Y'all need to get on this right now. Whether we get it or not, somebody gonna get it. If it ain't me, somebody in my pool is gonna connect and get a part of that. So that is what it's all about. You know, the scarcity mindset, at some point, we're choosing to have that mindset. Okay, that's my opinion. At some point, those people are choosing. And you know, and this is, I'm gonna just go across one of my friends that I used to work with on one of my conferences. She pointed out to me one time, she said, Kearn, we're the ones inviting everybody to the table, but turn around and look around. They ain't inviting us to the table. They're not inviting us to their event. And no, she wasn't Black, she was white. And she pointed that out to me, and I had to step back because, again, I'm a giver. You know, I'm a person, I'm going to give, pull everybody in, competition or not. Look, we can all have a part of the pie. So I had to step back and start to realize she is right. I need to reassess who I'm inviting to the table. So I challenge you to look at your circle, who's in your circle, and look at who you're inviting to the table. And so I'm not saying don't give, but assess who you're giving to. Do they really appreciate you?
Come on, Queen. Yes, you know, for me, I can personally say 2020 was, of course, for everybody, a crazy year, but it was really bizarre. I'm gonna be honest with you, not just because of the obvious with the COVID, but because it was wildly successful, but then it was wildly hard, then it was wildly crazy. It was just like, Lord, I don't know if to smile or to cry. What am I doing, Lord? You know, it depended on what season it was in. But another big thing I took away from that is to really take a look and evaluate, like, who is in my corner, who is in my circle, because I think you guys have heard everybody in your circle and in your corner. And we, of course, know everybody's smiling for you, clapping for you, liking, commenting. You know, that's just life. Keep breathing. That's what my grandma would say. Keep breathing, keep living. And won't you see, right? And so it's just in that season, it's that season we can't waste our oil anymore. That doesn't mean that you're not generous. That doesn't mean that you don't have compassion. That doesn't mean that you don't show grace and mercy and help bring other people up, but they gotta want it. There are some people, and I'm sure these queens can attest, I know I can, there are some people where I've wanted to see them succeed more than they wanted to see themselves succeed. And I'm like, whoa, I got 1,000,000,001 things going on. I'm trying to help you succeed. I'm trying to present you. Not that I'm not God or anything like that, but I do recognize the position God has given me in this moment. And you don't even want, cool. It don't take long, honey. I have buckets. I'm gonna be honest. Mentally, you get put in a bucket, baby. You do. I love you with the love of the Lord. God bless you, Queen. And then you be in a bucket. I love all of that, but honey, we can't do business together because you're not serious and you wasting mama time. And I can't do that. That's our #1 commodity. We can't get it back. So good. We can't stop wasting your oil, Queen, on people who are not ready and who don't respect the oil that God is giving you to bless them. So love that. So Cynthia, coming to you, we're going to switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about, and I know I keep going from the entrepreneurial side, but that's mainly the women that join any kind of conference or anything I'm doing. They're women of faith, but they're also bosses. They're bossing up, emerging leaders, or they already bossed out, honey, and they each one teach one, and I love them all. But so talk about the power of investing. I know we hear this, and I know we've all talked this, but let's really, I just want to break it down, because I feel like, and I could be wrong, so this is a Nakita opinion, but what I've experienced, I feel like my sisters with an AH at the end, okay, sisters, either we think people trying to scam us, they trying to get over, I'm not sure what it is, but we stay behind a big part because we're not willing to invest in ourselves. Or if we're willing to, we think investment. Girl, I bought that course for $29.99. And so that was your investment in yourself. That was investment in your legacy, your future, your kids, and all of that, like for real. So I have a problem with that. And I'm okay with that. I love them. They may not have the faith yet, and they may not be there yet, and that's cool. But you get put in that little bucket. I'm just being honest with you. They go to bucket. You in the bucket. So talk to me about the power of investing in you and in being able to invest. Just, it's greater than you. Like Dr. Cheryl said, it's you, but it ain't about you. So talk about the power of that and what you've seen in your own life when you've been willing to invest in you and what God has put on the inside of you.
I think when it comes to investing in yourself, you've got to look at yourself on multiple aspects, from investing in your mindset. Like all this success and all of the things that we do starts right here, right? And this is the bane of most people's existence, and not being able to grow mentally. Whether you have to get a book on success, you listen to a master class or anything like that, investing in your mind, investing in your spiritual walk with the Lord, like all of those things are investments that you will eventually have to show up for. You'll eventually have to pour out. The thing about an investment is you invest something and you expect to cash out, right? At some point, you expect it to grow. That's what real investments are. I'm not a stock market people or person or anything like that. But if I invest something into the stock market, I expect a return. I expect it to grow. I expect, if I put one talent in the ground, I expect to get 10 more, right? I expect it to provide for me multiple streams of something more than what I put into it. And I think that from the beginning, a lot of women may be impoverished in the mindset, impoverished in their spirit. It could be even a self-confidence thing that they have not worked on. In business, when I'm talking to somebody on the phone, they're not going to get one of those, hey, it's going to be such and such, and the price. They're not getting that out of me. Here's what it is, right? There's confidence that has been poured into me. And I just thank God for being who he is, where there's confidence that has been built up in me. But there were some things that had to be broken down in me in order for me to get there. There were a lot of mind things, a lot of heart things that had to be broken down in order for the right investments to be poured into me for me to pour that out. I talked a little bit about it on A Girl on Fire about having to invest into a program, but it was way more than that. My mind about looking at money and looking at the return literally had to shift. Oftentimes when I'm talking to women about having to pour into their business, whatever it is, the first thing they think about is just how much it's going to cost me. They don't even think about how much you're going to gain. It's all about how come every investment is looked at like a bill? If you've lived paycheck to paycheck to paycheck, then everything you think about is about bills. You don't even think about investments. You don't even think about that because it's too far out of the reach of what you're used to. And the mindset of paycheck to paycheck, it's got to break if you're going to ever get to the place of success and wealth. Wealthy people don't think like that. They don't think paycheck to paycheck. Okay, how much is it that we need to invest in? What are the returns on it? Okay, that makes sense. All right, boom. They don't take a long time to be able to figure out whether or not it's a good choice because they've made enough successful choices, right? Success leaves clues. And then what we talked about, okay, it's been done enough. There's enough people within their circle that have won with it. So if they won with it, why can't you? Why don't you think so either? Why do we have to break down why you don't think you can win? It's about you. It's about your mind. It's about what you're pouring into your own spirit. Are you being self-toxic? Are you poisoning your own self? Who are you listening to? Who are you talking to? Investing in yourself is beyond just money. And before you can open up that wallet, you need to open up your mind and figure out what's hindering you. Some of the hindrances that go on really amongst Black women is jealousy. If we could just put it on out there. Let's put it on out there. The big J, jealousy. And not the jealousy like God is jealous for me. He don't want me serving other God. No, jealousy like I want what you have. You haven't tapped into your own. Okay. Comparison can break confidence. It can break confidence. You cannot live your life investing in how much you can compare to someone else. Can you compare yourself to last year's you? What do you look like today compared to what you were doing? Have you grown? Okay. So if you're not willing to invest in your mind, you're not willing to invest in your spirit, you're not willing to take care of your health, you can forget the wallet, because you won't live long enough to be able to see the success that God has for you. You'll be gone before you ever get there, because you didn't take time to invest in the vessel that he gave you. You only get one. What you doing with it?
Queen, come on. I'm going to run through this virtual. I love it. She said you won't get to the wallet because you'll be gone. Oh my. Don't you do it. Don't you? Now, see, we want to get real. We don't want to get that real. They ain't ready for that. No, I'm just messing with you. That is so good, Queen. It is, that shift is, I said this, I think at Girl on Fire, where I used to be black in the day is what I call it, over a decade ago, where I used to be a personal trainer, and I had a whole studio. Fantasy, it was called Fantasy Fitness, honey. We make your fitness dreams a reality, honey. I was having them in there just doing it, honey. I was insane, light coming to me, baby. We would have bottoms up, and they would just boop, boop, boop. And them inches was coming off. It was fun though. But they would come in, and I said this before, I just want to lose my stomach, or I just want my thighs to go down. Like, do you see your whole head and whole body? You just want just this one thigh to come in? Stop it. I just want my bank account to go up, but you ain't fixed none of these other things, as you said, to the mind, the body, the soul, the heart. Like, they really do work in tandem. And even if you do have an influx or a sporadic growth in the monetary vein, it ain't gonna last long, because the rest of the other things are out of whack. God is a God of order, decency, and order. And so if everything else is a muck, it's gonna leak through as a muck. So thank you so much for that, Queen. That was so good. So Dr. Cheryl, I already know you've got some amazing programs where queens, you really do challenge them to level up. And guess what? They got to pay, right? Because to get everything that you have learned over the years, the ups, the downs, what you've seen, what you have been through, the TEDx speaks, and all of these things that they just don't know, like that costs, like your oil costs, Queen. And I know that, Queen. So talk about the mindset or how you help women to get their mindset right, so they're willing to invest, yes, preferably with you, but just investing, period, so that they can elevate. Like, you gotta spend money. It takes money to make money. I'm sorry. That's just real talk.
No, so you're right. That's real talk, and you're absolutely right. And look, I want to break this down to its most basic, fundamental level. What I invest now is not what I used to invest when I first started, because I didn't have that kind of money to invest. So I don't want to give anybody a false sense of, oh, well, I should be investing 20K because Dr. Cheryl is, 40K because Dr. Cheryl is. No, that took 11 years to get to that space. It took me 7 years to be able to have the level of revenue that I needed to invest in a $40,000 VIP day with the coach of my choice. That took 7 years in the making. When I first met the coach of my choice, I was still working a full-time job, which many of our sisters are who are listening to this. I was living paycheck to paycheck, and I didn't have 40 grand to give nobody. So I don't want you to devalue your investment based on what you can do right now. So let's just call that out. So if you can invest 4,000, if you can invest 400, like, the point is, are you willing to do something that scares you so it will grow you? What I know is that you're going to invest in knowledge, but you're also going to invest in access. And sometimes we want to be close to that person, that name, that brand. We want to have a connection to. Sometimes, let me tell you, sisters, it costs to get in that circle with that person to have that access that you want to be able to elevate your brand. So as you grow, your investments will grow. As you want access, greater access to greater names, to gurus in the industry, the investment is going to grow, and you have to be willing to grow with it. But that doesn't mean you don't start where you are right now. What is the best next step for you? Who is the coach that you need right now that is within your budget? And yes, it should be a little scary, because I think every investment I've made in me has been a little scary. I was scared. My husband thought I was cray-cray, but I knew who I was becoming. So I always encourage my Black women in business, think about who you're becoming, not necessarily who you are today. And I believe that who you're becoming is always going to require a greater investment than what you feel like you have. It's always going to scare you. You always going to have to pull something from somewhere that you ain't think you had it to pull from. You're going to have to save something and stop drinking them Starbucks coffees. Because that's what I did. Before I could get to Lisa, I got to her predecessor, right? And I was like, okay, well, how much you cost? Like, that was just, it just was what it was. I didn't have 40K. I didn't even have the 6K that the initial coach said it was going to cost. So I was like, okay, well, let me negotiate. Goes back to what I talked about earlier, Black women learning how to negotiate. And I said, well, I don't have the 6K. And that's a part of it, being honest with people. And sometimes people will open the door based on your honesty and your vulnerability. But I want what I want. I know where I'm going. I know who I'm becoming. There's a fire in my belly and it just won't leave me alone. I've got to get the coaching. Will you work with me? Can we split that 6K into 6 payments? Like, I can do that. And then I started making the sacrifices that would allow me to invest in who I knew I wanted to become. So it's just being willing to sacrifice, being willing to put something in, being willing to say, I'm going to stop eating out, or I'm going to stop getting my nails done, or I'm going to stop whatever the thing is that you need to get what you want so that you can move forward. You've got to be willing to do that. And that takes tenacity and that takes a courage because, and let me say this as well, sometimes the investment, you're going to think you went in for one thing and you're going to come out with something different. Because I've made investments, big investments, and I didn't get what I thought I was going in for. But what I got was a lesson on what not to do with my clients. I'm just saying, I got lessons on how not to treat my clients, on how to do better than what I experienced. Because if someone spent that level of money with me, I wouldn't want them to feel the way I felt when I walked away from that big investment that I made. So every investment that I make, I'm always worth it. I'm worth it because I'm worth the experiences. I'm worth the lessons that I learned. I'm worth the elevation. I'm worth whatever that investment was meant to do for me. I'm worth it. And so just know that you're worth it. And I literally hound that in to my clients' heads. You are worth every investment, even if you didn't get what you thought you went in for. God knew what you needed from that investment, and he's going to give it to you.
So good, Queen. Yes, it's like we just have to, it's almost like we need to empty our mind of what we think works and just truly trust God. Like, you know, I am a fond believer that God is always, he is one, without a shadow of a doubt. I can say this absolutely with absolute. If you're trusting him, he's going to give you one or two things. Either he's going to give you the provision, meaning he's a way maker. Oh, we love that. Oh, yes, Lord, won't he do it? He's a miracle worker. He's a way maker. Yes, I know him to be a provider. Come on, Jehovah Nisi. Come on now. And he is all of those things, and he's amazing. Yes, he is. But what about when daddy say no? And he wants you to get the perspective, and he wants you to take the L. Yeah. You know, many times on my social media, I put hashtag winning, circle winning. And it's a mindset, and it is who I am and who God's called me to be. And I know the women here and those who are listening, but that doesn't mean it doesn't come with some L's along the way. It's how you take those L's. Every L is not for a loss. It's a lesson. What did you learn? If you want to get all mad and puff up your chest and they did me wrong, they didn't give me what I said, girl, that's why I don't do business with Black people. Come on. That's a whole nother whatever. But, you know, but what did I learn? Like you said, I learned what not to do and how not to treat people. But you know what you also learn when you're in business? It boosts your confidence because you know you're going to give value. You know when they walk away from you, you're going to help them actually break through on the thing you said you committed to giving them as long as they put in the work. Hello, somebody. Stop paying people this money and thinking they're supposed to be the second coming of Jesus and turn water into wine for your business. Stop it. You have to put in work, honey. I'm a publisher and I've had queens. My book isn't, they're upset because the royalty check is looking like $2. Well, baby, last time I checked, you wasn't, I don't see nothing. I can go to your page, your website, I don't even see your book on there. You ain't pushing your book. I mean, you're not gonna make no money. I mean, can I keep it 100? You've got to put in the work. So I know you paid them and you think everything is no, you still have to put in work and you got to get it done. It just don't work like that. So I love that, Queen. You learn what not to do. And then again, it boosts your confidence. So when I tell you it's 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, whatever it is, the cost is to do this level of service, I know I'm gonna go above and beyond. You know, one thing I took from the corporate world, and I share with you all as well, people, when you pay people money, they expect for them to get what they pay for. But what can you do to delight? And that's the way I look at business for me. I know what you pay for. I know what I told you on paper, but what can I do to delight you? If I can delight you, then I got you. Meaning that in a positive way, not a scheming way, not a get over way, but I know that I've got you. Why wouldn't you want to continue to do business with someone who gave you what you requested and then they went above and beyond and they delighted you? You come right back. So many of the customers are repeat. Yes, there's new people, but it is cheaper to keep her in business as well. Instead of spending all this influx on marketing and advertising, please do. I do it. Queen Cynthia does it. I know these queens do it as well. Of course, you've got to do that, but it's cheaper to keep her and build the relationship where you're showing value in your various streams of income. To Kearn's point, another stream of income doesn't mean it's a brand new business. Stop making a brand new business every time you have another thought. How can we make them intertwine together so you can create more value, a stickier, juicier, Dr. Cheryl, juicy? How can you give them a juicier situation, okay? So that they want to continue to do business with you. Man, this is so good. Oh, y'all just, ooh, I'm getting angry because I want to continue. But I know these women have things. I'm not getting angry. I love them. This is so good. I hope you value this time with these women. They are juggernauts, giants in their own right and in their own field. And when I tell you that they are genuine and authentic and blessing, not just their county, not just their community, not just their state, but they're blessing the world. Like the world. And that's not me just saying that because it sounds cute. And it's that like literally there's people in other nations, other countries that are benefiting from the fruits of their labor. You understand? So if you're not connected with these queens, then you playing yourself, queen. You need to get connected with them because even if they're not the one to give you what you need, I promise you with the arsenal of networks and connections they have, they can get you in the game. People think it's about having all the answers. No. It's about asking the right questions. I've had opportunities because I asked the right question. I didn't have the answer, but I asked the right question. So they gave it to me because I asked a question that they didn't think about, right? So same thing. It's not all about what you have, but who do you know? It's still true. Who do you know? How can you serve them? And then how can you guys work together? So as we wrap it up and put a bow on it tonight, and this has been such a good conversation, and maybe I can get them back again. Who knows what God will do? Won't he do it? But just wrap it up and talk to the heart of just the Black woman who feels, you know, just quite frankly, she feels misused. She feels abused in the business arena. You know, the testing of her faith. Her faith. She feels like, you know, people are not really riding for me. You know, nobody supports me. Nobody likes or comments or shares. Nobody buys the product. Talk to the heart of that woman. Just encourage her just in the last few minutes, and then just leave them with the best way they can reach out to you. So if you could, I know that's a lot, but if you can give that to me in about 60 to 90 seconds each, that would be fantastic. So I'll start with you, Cynthia.
All right, thank you. I just want to encourage any woman that's feeling like that. Like, do not feel like you're alone. Everybody that I know that's in business has gone through that. Those moments where you really feel like you've been beat down, you've been beat up, you've been overlooked. There is still an opportunity for you. If you got to cry, go ahead and cry. If you got to write it out, you know, write on a piece of paper, tear it up and throw it away. Whatever you have to do to kind of expel that hurt and that experience out of your mind is the best thing that you can do. But do not feel like you're alone in this journey. You are absolutely not alone. We love you. I love you. There are people out here that are willing to open the door for you. They're willing to open up their hand. It's all about what you said, asking the right questions. You have not because you ask not, queen. So don't be afraid to open up your mouth and just say, I need help. That's strength, right? That is strength. So operate in the strength that God has given you. Say that you need help and connect with right people. Anybody that wants to connect with me, they can find me on CynthiaVideau.com. That's CynthiaVideau.com. So they can find me on there. You can call my office at 256-770-4550. Reach out and book a free call, and I'll be more than happy to talk with you, look at the understructure of your business, and come up with a plan that'll work for you.
Fantastic, Queen. Thank you so much for coming this evening. I know we had to make some shifts, but I'm so glad you were in the room. But, you know, I will say this, when opportunities come, you understand the right, I'm not talking about just any, because people have opportunities, but the right opportunities come your way. God wants to know if you're ready and when you make shifts so you can be in the room and be positioned, because you never know what he's going to do, who he wants to put you in front of and who he wants to bless through you and for you. So I love that, Queen, that you were ready and willing and ready to go. And I knew you were polished and ready to come on up here and do the thing, baby. So yes, all right, Kearn, queen, come on, tell me, talk to me. Leave something to encourage that woman who says, you know what, I gotta make this my year. Like I cannot afford to have another 2020. What do you say to that, queen? How do you encourage her and let her know how she can connect with you?
So I want to start off by saying, don't let anybody determine your year but God, right? So if you're not sure which direction or if you're in the right direction, spend some time alone, talk to him and ask him to show you. And you need to be prepared, because when he show you, sometimes it's not what you're thinking. Trust me, I've already been there. But that being said, this is your year. This is your year. I'm telling you, this is the opportunity for everybody. You know, no matter what you're doing, no matter where you're at in life, whether you're on a job, 9 to 5, working 12s or whatever it is, whether you're cooking in the kitchen or working in a hospital or got your own business, this is your year to increase your income. I'm not saying God created COVID, but Lord knows how many times do you get extra time to do whatever you were thinking. I ain't have time for that. Well, you can't say that anymore, because guess what we are? We're all at home. I challenge you, if you don't have any digital format of a business, to think of this year as an opportunity to create your own digital, whatever it is, so that you're in the global market. You don't want to be, as Cheryl says, swimming in the pond. You want to be swimming in the global ocean, right? And so this is your year to get your brand out there in the global ocean. So I challenge you. I often tell people, sometimes you knock on the door don't open. So you try another door. That door still didn't open. I'm gonna try the back, right? I'm gonna go in the back door. Somebody gonna let me in. If that don't work, create your own. This is your year to create your own. Open your own opportunities. Stop waiting around for somebody to let you in. Go create your own. So I'm Kearn Cherry, and they do call me the butts in the seat queen. You can find me mostly anywhere, Kearn Cherry or Kearn Crockett Cherry. One of my favorites is LinkedIn and now Clubhouse. So I'm just going to put that out there. So definitely reach out to me. I love connecting. I love building relationships, and I love collaborating.
Yes, queen. I love it. I love it. I love it. So good. Create your own platform, you guys. We not begging. What did I say earlier? I said we ain't begging for crumbs no more. Look, again, and it doesn't mean that if you're not, so everybody else's platform is crumbs, but that's not what we're saying. But we're not. We're just not. We do not have the luxury, all right, to be in the sideline anymore. Create the very thing that you seek. It may not be perfect. It may not be as big and grand as so and so and so and so. Do your best. Do your due diligence. Reach out and get help where you need to, right? But create it. You were designed to create. Period. That's the first thing. He created the heavens and the earth. So if the first verb, create, God created. Okay. Dr. Cheryl created. Kearn created. Cynthia created. Nakita created. Queen ... whatever your name is, create. What are you creating? It's real talk. Love you. Oh, love it. Good stuff. Dr. Cheryl, last but never ever least in my life. So queen, tell them, encourage that woman right now, my sister in Christ, encourage her, let her know what she can do. How can she just level up in this season? And then tell them how they can get connected with you, because you've got several things going on coming down the pike that they need to be a part of. Stop playing with yourself.
Absolutely. I think just reinforcing for yourself that you are enough, you are worthy, and you are capable just as you are. And if you don't believe that yet, I challenge you to upgrade your internal dialogue until you believe it. I think all of us, we started at the bottom, now we're here, right? But the reality is we got here through work. We got here through planting the seeds. We got here through the grace of God. We got here through showing up, even when it was hard, even when we didn't feel like it, even when we felt like nobody was supporting the vision. People thought we were crazy or they didn't think we were good enough. We kept showing up, and God gave us that supernatural strength to keep showing up. But we had to give him something to work with. You got to give God something to work with. So the giving him something to work with is you show up and you make yourself readily available as a vessel. That means you got to get up, get dressed, put your lipstick on and say, God, use me. Are you ready to be used? Are you ready to come to the front of the room so that he has something to work with? You will never get what you deserve. You will only get what you demand. And you demand greatness. You demand that the world pay attention to your voice. You demand that you use your gifts, that you unwrap it, you unleash it and unveil it to the world by showing up. Even when you don't feel like it, even when other people feel like you don't belong in the room. And God will take that thing and he will elevate you to a place you never even imagined you'd be elevated to. He will take you through what I call the VIP entrance, which is through the back door, and people will be wondering how she get here. Well, guess what? God took me through the VIP entrance, which was through the back door. He didn't bring me through the front because you were looking for me to come through the front. But see, the God I serve says I have blessings with my name engraved on it, and he's going to make sure I get it, and you can't stop it and you can't prevent me from getting it. Therefore, I'm going to show up to make sure I get it. Show up for your blessings. And most importantly, stop quitting before the blessing shows up. Keep doing the work. Keep striving. Keep pressing. If you ain't been through nothing, you can't tell me nothing. So you got to go through some stuff. A diamond isn't formed just because. A diamond is put through high temperature. A diamond is put through pressure. And you think you're not going to be put through high temperature and pressure to become the diamond God says you are? My sister, you've got to know that it's going to take some work. It's going to take some trial. It's going to take some tribulation, but you are worth it. You are on divine assignment, and God is going to give you everything you need to carry out that divine assignment as long as you show up and you come to the front of the room so that he can powerfully use you. I'm Dr. Cheryl Wood. You can connect with me at Cheryl Empowers all across social media. I hang out on Clubhouse. I hang out on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, wherever there is a social media platform, you can find me there at Cheryl Empowers. And you can connect with me through my website, CherylEmpowers.com, and become a part of my VIP community. My sisters, my sisters, my sisters, nobody can do you like you do. Nobody can do what you do the way that you do it. So we need you to show up in the world, because I can't do it all. Nakita can't do it all. Kearn can't do it all. And Cynthia can't do it all. We need your voice, your gift, your messaging. We need you to show up powerfully in the world so that the people who are waiting for you will get exactly what they need so that they too can be elevated. Your life got to be bigger than you.
Yes, come on, boom, 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 boom. Whoop, there it is. Come on, yeah, whoop. Okay, I'm sorry, I took it back. Boy, y'all ain't ready. That was, what was that, 92, 93? Okay, so, all right, stop. I will go there, and I don't want to. So, as we wrap it up, I love it, Queen. That is so good, so good. I pray that you were encouraged in this moment, in this season, with the nuggets that you were given. But here's the deal. I don't want you, Queen, to just take these nuggets, these golden nuggets, these diamond platinum nuggets encrusted in platinum. I don't want you to take these nuggets and they fall on deaf ears, or you heard this today and, oh, that was good, and then tomorrow you're the same. Like I tell folks, even when I have the opportunity to minister, because I am an ordained minister, I don't care nothing about your like and your applause and your clapping. Oh, girl, that was the word. I don't care nothing about that. Were you transformed by the words that came out of my mouth, which was ordained by the Holy Spirit? If you weren't, and you're not making tangible actions to shift and change or repent from the sin in that case, then it don't mean nothing. So same thing with this, these golden nuggets that they gave to you through their lenses, right? Speaking to the heart for the Black woman, what are you going to do? Are you going to stay stuck and stagnant? Are you going to take these pieces, these rocks, these golden diamond encrusted shaped nuggets, and you're going to infuse it into your life so that you can build the legacy that God has set for you before you were even in your mother's womb? Like before you even thought about a twinkle, boo, that was you, that twinkle that went by. Are you going to do it? So the choice and the ball is in your court. Queen, it is time to play your royal position. This has been a Firehouse Black Star Power panel discussion for the Black, Bold, and Beautiful Girl Boss Tour. I'm your host, Minister Nakita Davis, the proud CEO and founder of Jesus Coffee and Prayer Christian Publishing House, the #1 Christian publishing house in the land. Thank you. God bless you, and may he keep you into the appointed time. We look forward to seeing you at the top. Queen, it's time to play your royal position. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Baby, here I go, start the show, beat on my heart, now about to explode.
Queen, it's time to play your royal position. My name is Terry Ellis from the singing group In Vogue, and I am so happy and honored to help Minister Nakita Davis celebrate her 2021 Women of Black Excellence honorees.
Dorinda Clark Cole. I'd like to give a shout out to Minister Nakita Davis, the CEO of Jesus Coffee and Prayer. I would like to congratulate all of her 2021 Women of Black Excellence.
No doubt about it, I'm on fire. So you better come and get a little bit of my sunshine. You get it going, I'm on fire. Feel the love. Baby, love in my pocket, blowing up. You can't stop it. It's going down, can't slow down. All of the universe watching me now. Yeah, watching me now. Look good, it's right? In the air, everywhere. Lightning can strike anytime, anywhere. Anytime, anywhere.
Hi, this is Jacqueline Carr, and Jesus Coffee and Prayer presents the Black, Bold, and Beautiful Girl Boss Tour.
No doubt about it, I'm on fire.
Can I get a witness that Jesus, he'll make a difference in your life. Love you, girl. Keep doing what you're doing. You're helping a whole lot of women out there. All right, love you.
In my pocket, blowing up. You can't stop